Ymedia Group, the fastest growing media group in North America.
इस समय जो बड़ी खबर है, इंपॉर्टेंट न्यूज़ हैगी आ, लिबरल पार्टी हैज़ एंटर्ड द मच सॉफ्ट आफ्टर मेजोरिटी टेरिटरी। सो लिबरल पार्टी ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਜੋਰਿਟੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਬਣਾ ਲਈ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ। ਅਸੀਂ ਕਾਲ ਕਰ ਹੀ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ 2 ਸੀਟਸ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਿੱਤ ਲੀਆਂ ਨੇ। ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤੀਸਰੀ ਸੀਟ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਜ਼ਿਕਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਲੇਕਿਨ 2 ਸੀਟਸ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਜਿੱਤੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਸਕਾਰਬਰੋ ਸਾਊਥ ਵੈਸਟ ਡੋਲੀ ਬੇਗਮ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਜਿੱਤ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ, ਔਰ ਦੂਸਰੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸੀਟ ਹੈਗੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸਿਟੀ ਰੋਜ਼ਡੇਲ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਜਿੱਤ ਲਈ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ। ਸੋ ਲਿਬਰਲ ਜਸਟ ਨੀਡਡ 1, ਸੋ ਲਿਬਰਲਸ ਆਰ ਸ਼ਾਈ ਆਫ ਜਸਟ 1 ਸੀਟ, ਬਟ ਨਾਓ ਹੇਅਰ ਵੀ ਆਰ, ਲਿਬਰਲ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਨ 2 ਸੀਟਸ ਜਿੱਤ ਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ GTA ਦੀਆਂ ਦੋਨੋਂ ਰਾਈਡਿੰਗਸ ਜਿੱਤ ਲੀਆਂ ਨੇ। ਅਸੀਂ ਹੁਣੇ ਕਿਊਬੈਕ ਦੀ ਰਾਈਡਿੰਗ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਬਟ ਲਿਬਰਲ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਹੈਵ ਐਂਟਰਡ ਦ ਮੈਜੋਰਿਟੀ ਟੈਰੀਟਰੀ। ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਦ ਬਿਗ ਨਿਊਜ਼। ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਬੜੀ ਖਬਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਂਝੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਦਈਏ ਕਿ ਤੀਸਰੀ ਸੀਟ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਨੈਕ ਟੂ ਨੈਕ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿ ਬਲੌਕ ਔਰ ਲਿਬਰਲ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਇਸ ਸਮੇਂ ਨੈਕ ਟੂ ਨੈਕ ਇਸ ਸਮੇਂ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਇਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਲਿਬਰਲ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਕੋਲ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਜੋਰਿਟੀ ਹੈ, ਔਰ ਅਗਲੀਆਂ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਅਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਹੋਣਗੀਆਂ, ਥੋੜਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਲੱਗੇਗਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ 4 ਸਾਲ ਬਾਅਦ ਹੀ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਹੁਣ ਅਗਲੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਸਕੈਜੂਲ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਨੇ। ਬਟ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੰਜ਼ਰਵੇਟਿਵ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਲਈ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਸਵਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਖੜੇ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਨੇ। ਵਾਈ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਪੋਲੀਟੀਕਲ ਸੈਂਸਿਕਸ ਅਸੀਂ ਦੱਸਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕੰਜ਼ਰਵੇਟਿਵ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਲਈ ਅਹਿਮ ਸਵਾਲ ਬਰਕਰਾਰ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਕੰਜ਼ਰਵੇਟਿਵ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਇਹ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਸੋਚੇਗੀ ਕਿ ਹੁਣ ਪੀਅਰ ਪੋਲਿਵ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ MPs ਨੇ ਉਹ ਸ਼ਿਫਟ ਕਰ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ, ਔਰ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਿ ਲਿਬਰਲ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਜੋਰਿਟੀ ਮਿਲੀ ਆ। ਐਸੀ ਖਬਰ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤਕਰੀਬਨ 8 ਹੋਰ MPs ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਪੋਟੈਂਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਫਲੋਰ ਕ੍ਰਾਸਿੰਗ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਲਿਬਰਲ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਨੂੰ 8 MPs ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਹੋਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ, ਹੁਣ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹ ਬਾਅਦ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ। ਔਰ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋ-ਹੋਸਟ ਰਮੋਨਾ ਸਿੰਘ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਹੀ ਰਹੇ ਸੀਗੇ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਅੱਜ ਮੈਜੋਰਿਟੀ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਲਿਬਰਲ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਸੀਗੀ, ਬਟ ਡੂ ਦੇ ਨੀਡ ਦੈਮ ਨਾਓ? ਪ੍ਰੋਬਬਲੀ ਯੈਸ, ਥੋੜੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਹੋਰ ਸਟਰੋਂਗਰ ਮੈਜੋਰਿਟੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਏਗੀ। ਹੂ ਡਜ਼ਨਟ ਵਾਂਟ ਫਿਊ ਮੋਰ MPs ਕ੍ਰਾਸਿੰਗ ਦ ਫਲੋਰ, ਦੈਟਸ ਫਾਈਨ। ਲੇਕਿਨ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਸਮਝਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਸ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬਣਨੀ ਸੀਗੀ। ਰਮਨਾ ਜੀ, ਇਫ ਆਈ ਮੇ ਆਸਕ ਯੂ, ਦੇਰ ਆਰ potentially 8 MPs and you rightly said so that if they could have come earlier, then obviously, that would have been more important for them. The Liberal Party, of course, they're still going to welcome them with both arms open, but I think now Liberal have already entered the majority territory. Will they still be that enthusiastic to welcome any floor crosser?
Yeah, I think, you want a buffer always, right? In case that there is any MPs that step down or anything that happens that would lead to a by-election. Of course, you want to have a strong majority. There is majority and then there's strong majority. So of course, I think that they would welcome it. And there's rumors that, some MPs have gone on the record that there's about maybe 8 more that are being poached by the Liberal Party to cross the floor. So that'll be interesting to see. But yes, tonight you have Elections Canada calling it, University of Rosedale has gone to the Liberals. They got 63.6% of the votes. Scarborough Southwest went to the Liberals with 70.3% of the vote. And when it comes to Trébonne in Quebec, the Liberals are there at 48% of the vote, and Quebec, Bloc Québécois at 46% of the vote. When it comes to that specific riding in Quebec, well, they're at 61% of the polls have been counted, but it's already been highlighted that it looks like it's going to be a Liberal majority. So definitely 2 seats out of the 3 are called for the Liberals tonight, for Mark Carney.
Yes, and I think question now would be that yes, what sort of agendas that they've not been able to drive? What are they going to move forward? I mean, even during the Trudeau era, they were still functioning as much like a majority. They didn't get majorities in 2019, in 2021, but they had some sort of arrangement with NDP. And now here we are. I mean, Mark Carney, he didn't shy away from anything. Whatever he wanted to do, cuts in the immigration department, spending on the infrastructure, another huge deficit budget. And as you were mentioning earlier, he went on to build relationship with China and India. So all those things. I mean, he was functioning more or less as a majority government. I know there's always some sort of scare, but still, what sort of agenda do you think he'll be driving now?
Well, we know that his last budget was supported by the Green, right? And so now he doesn't need that. He can, get full support in his own caucus. But now we're going to have to see how he's going to bring affordability to the forefront, right? He's done his trips abroad. Now it comes down to what does that mean, the bottom line? Who's, this negotiation with Kuzma. And now there's speculation that he's going to have a cabinet shuffle, right? Now that he has a majority mandate, he's going to have key people in key positions because now he has the safety net of 3 years to govern. And what that means is 3 years to deliver for Canadians when it comes to housing. Housing was something that he campaigned on strongly, affordability. And of course, we want to know what does it mean for the energy sector. And we even saw him, kind of stay out of this conflict in the Middle East. So that's going to be interesting to see what's going to come about from it in the next little while. But also with Kuzma, I think that's the biggest thing. If he cannot get a deal for Canada, then we're going to be in trouble. So he's going to need his very key people there for these negotiations. And so it'll be interesting to see in the coming few weeks if there's going to be this cabinet reshuffle. He's got about 8 weeks, that Parliament is going to be working. And so we want to see a lot from this government, and hopefully he delivers because, these Canadians really went to the polls in this by-election and gave him a vote of confidence for him to carry on and for us not to go into a general election.
I was watching poll numbers from Nick Nanos, the Nanos poll survey, and he was analyzing the poll numbers. The NDP are once again flat. Bloc a little bit, the progressed up. Liberals were in a very strong territory, and it's 14 points down for Pierre Poilievre. So, as expected, these elections results are not going to be doing anything good for the Conservative Party, or especially the leader, Pierre Poilievre. Your take on these poll numbers from Nanos?
Yeah, Nanos pretty much showed us that, the Liberals are leading the Conservatives, but when it comes to who would be the best, who would you choose best to be Prime Minister to lead Canada, Mark Carney's digits are in the 60s, well ahead of Pierre Poilievre. We've seen that happen in the general election too. Anytime there was polls, we knew that Mark Carney was even more popular than the Liberal brand. And because of his popularity, it really brought the Liberals back from what we thought that they were going to be done for quite some time and that it was going to be a Conservative wave. So Mark Carney's popularity really rebounded the Liberal fortunes, and what we're seeing happen with floor crossings of Conservatives saying, when you look at like Marilyn Gladu, for example, right? She's been a social conservative on many issues, and she has now agreed with the Prime Minister that she will vote with his party on social issues when it comes to abortion and other things. Not that those are up for debates or for votes, but her previous record on where she stood, she is now in a way compromising that, saying okay, she's going to agree to what the Liberal Party chooses on those matters. So you're seeing that the center right are being attracted to him. Even NDP crossed the floor for him. So it's very significant how his popularity is significant with Canadians, as well as it seems like caucus members, from across the aisle. So this is interesting to see. But now I think the honeymoon period would be over now, because Canadians have now given him a majority government. And so now we really need to see what he's going to do. We need to see on all his promises that he campaigned on, really coming into fruition.
Yeah. Before we let you go, I was just curious to know, what are the top 3 things? What are the top 3 things that you would want the Liberals, federal Liberal government to do right now? If you were asked the top 3 things, this is what the Canadians want now, in your opinion, please go ahead.
What his plan is on energy, specifically on Canadian pipelines. We know that there is a pipeline that goes from Alberta to BC to have exports into Southeast Asia, Pacific Asia region. And in terms of what does it mean for increasing that capacity, so we have more than one client for our oil, which is the United States. The United States takes a big bulk of Canadian oil, so diversifying from that to make sure that Canadian oil gets to the markets. I'd like to also hear what it would mean to have, an east-west pipeline. I mean, I know I'm asking for very big, aggressive things, but I think if you have a majority mandate, that you could find ways to push this through. I mean, right now you have Eastern Canada exposed with market rates of oil. That's why our prices are going up, because in Eastern Canada, when it comes to Ontario, Quebec, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, PEI, all those provinces, we're importing from Nigeria oil, we're importing from Venezuela, we're importing from Saudi Arabia. We know Saudi Arabia is in the middle of a massive conflict with the Strait of Hormuz not being able to be at the same rate of its output. So the refineries that we have here are grade level for foreign oil, not for Alberta. So this is very serious matter in terms of making sure that Canada has that level of security, right? The president across the southern border sees our value in terms of oil and natural resources. So I'd really like to see a good plan on how can Canada become more secure, and also have more than one client, which is the United States when it comes to oil, who really gets to dictate the price of oil, and that affects our productivity and our output as well. So that would be one of the key things. Of course, we want to know what's going to happen with the economy. We want to make sure that jobs are there optimal. I mean, a first world nation, we're talking about basic necessities of life. We're talking about affordability in terms of housing, food, shelter. We know that more Canadians are going to the food bank than ever, and the numbers have grown significantly from previous years. So we want to make sure that food scarcity is not a thing. We want to make sure there's affordability in massive cities like Toronto, Vancouver. The rest of them, when it comes to housing plan, he had a housing strategy that he was campaigning on. So those are really top of mind, making sure the economy is on track. Canadians have decent wages where they can have a decent level of living where they're comfortable. And of course, that comes with housing, but really energy is going to be a very key thing in terms of what are going to be the key factors that's driving this economy. Right now, it's public spending, right? When it comes to what he's done with the defense budget, reaching that 2% of GDP for NATO. And he's also predicting that there's going to be lots of jobs in the defense sector. What about the energy sector? We'd like to see that. And of course, I know lots of people would like to see the housing market come back, right? Which has been a whole nother thing.
Yeah. And on the screen, you're seeing right now what Pierre Poilievre has to say, because I was quite eager to listen what he has to say. So Pierre Poilievre has said this, that Liberals have won this majority through backroom. There are, the politicians, he's saying they made some backroom deals with the politicians. So this is what Pierre Poilievre is mentioning right now. So if you look at this, I can read out his statement for you. The Carney Liberals did not win a majority government through a general election or today by-election. Instead, it was won through backroom deals with politicians who betrayed people who voted for them. While the Prime Minister spent the year on cynical power grab, he has doubled the deficit, given Canada the worst grocery prices and housing costs in G7. Liberals expect Canadians to give up, get complacent, go away, so Carney can have a total power without any accountability. That will not happen. Our country and its people are worth fighting for. We'll continue to fight for people to afford homes, food, and fuel. We will continue to fight for safety in our streets. We will continue to fight for our resources, workers, and soldiers. I will continue to lead that fight every day and in every way in Parliament and in the next election, when Canadians will reclaim the country we know and love.
Ymedia Group, the fastest growing media group in North America.